Stay tuned to learn all the deets about what's coming up for this new moon. It's incredible. Stacey the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to New Moon Musings for the new moon happening on December 30th of 2024. This is the literal last new moon of this year, and of course it's happening in the last 36 hours of 2024 energy, and it is what is going to bring us in to this 2025 year with, I want to say, a lot of pomp and circumstance. I am Stacey the Black Feather Intuitive. I'm so excited to be seeing you guys today to connect for this new moon energy. For those of you who are old hat and you know all of this stuff and you've been following me for a while, go ahead and click on the timestamps below to get started with this reading. And if you are new to me, welcome. So excited to be seeing you and having you here. Stay tuned for this 1-minute clip to help you to understand how to get the most out of this reading. And we'll see you on the flip side. For those of you who are new to me, here's a quick little breakdown on how to make this reading work for you. The new moon cycle works where it moves in 3.5 basically days throughout that 28-day cycle. So sometimes you're in a phase a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. It is not linear. But what I do is I give you dates connected to each of the phases of the new moon cycle so that you can come back to the video after you've watched the whole thing, you've taken it all in, you come back to that video for those particular times so that you understand, okay, I'm in, the waxing crescent phase, and what do I need to know about that? What is transpiring in my world right now? And this information is really helpful because it's giving me perspective on what it is I need to learn, or maybe I need to pull back, or maybe I need to lean in a little bit more. So use this. It's kind of like the gift that keeps on giving. Use it throughout the month to support you. Okay, so I want to say a preemptive Happy New Year because we've basically got about 36 hours or so, give or take, and then we are going to be in 2025. And this new moon is in Capricorn. And for those of you who follow astrology, you understand that we have completed a really big, I think it's a 20-year cycle or something close to that, where Pluto has been in Capricorn. And we are now moving fully into Pluto in Aquarius. Now, Pluto is the planet of destruction, transformation. It is the Phoenix planet. So, just because we're moving out of Capricorn doesn't necessarily mean that everything's going to be sunshine and daisies, wine and roses. It's not, but we're leaving that heavier, thicker, denser energy. Capricorn energy really likes to build things, wants to know, create foundation, wants to know, solidify and know that everything's going to be safe and secure, that we're creating something new, something that's going to really be beneficial and work for us. And a lot of stuff has been torn down in this particular period of time. And that is why this Pluto in Aquarius is coming up. It's all about technology. It's all about community. It's about connecting with your fellow human to make things better. Pluto in Aquarius also is going to, I want to say, test us on a heart level. And as we're stepping into this last new moon in Capricorn, it is an invitation for every single one of us to really kind of clear the decks, clear away all the rubble. I want to say this definitely feels a lot like, restoration. When a hurricane comes through, and it's, leveled a lot of different things, but there are still, random parts of buildings standing. You need a crew to come in and level it all, get rid of all of the rubble so that you can start with a clean slate. And that's what this new moon in Capricorn is inviting us to do. The new moon in Capricorn is going to be happening on December 30th at 3:28 p.m. Eastern Standard, and that is 7:28 p.m. UTC time. And we are having the opportunity to say farewell. Farewell to 2024. Farewell, a big farewell to Pluto in Capricorn. A thanks so much, and great to not have to see you ever again in our lifetime. Let's just be real about that. And it's an opportunity for you to also get very clear, clearing the rubble, clearing it all out. Now you've got the blank slate to get very clear about what you want to build, what you want to create, and who you want in your community. Yes, it is the community at large. It is absolutely the community that we live in and how you are going to contribute to that community at large. But it is also about, who do I want with me in the boat when I'm sailing down the river of life? Who's coming with me for this next chapter and this next journey? So this is a really potent new moon energy. So let's pull some cards. I have decided that we are going to pull cards from the Guiding Light Tarot. This felt really powerful because we do need a guiding light as we are moving through this energy. And then we're going to pull some affirmation cards on each of the four corners, I like to say, or the sort of the cardinal points of this spread with the star seeds from Nari Anastasia, because we could really use some help from our higher guides and beings as we're moving through this. Okay, so let's, without further ado, dive in, and we're going to pull a release card. And the release card is what we're releasing from the previous new moon cycle. And this is, what am I releasing from this previous cycle that I can use as fertilizer for what is coming up and coming through. And we have Page of Pentacles. So we're letting go of this idea that we need to be a student of the Capricornian energy. We are no longer students of that energy. We are no longer novices in understanding how it works, understanding why it's come through. It came through to tear down all of the systems that just simply aren't serving us any longer. And we are releasing this student energy, and we're allowing ourselves now to take that wisdom and apply it forward, pay it forward into this new, I want to say, generational shift. Pluto in Aquarius is really a generational shift, and we are laying foundation for that community approach. Page of Pentacles also is a very creative card, and I feel like we've all had to get very creative, or if you didn't get creative while you were going through some of the breakdown of structures, and of course there's still going to be a lot of continuance of breakdown of structures. If you haven't already learned how to get creative and get into the flow, this is your last chance to do it. You need to do it. You need to allow that creative flow. It's letting go of the idea that I control anything other than my choices, my responses to things, my responses to life, my reactions to what presents itself. If I think that I control anything outside of that, I'm delusional. I got some swampland down in Florida that I want to sell you. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean that in a way of reality check. We're all in it together. There's not a single one of us that can control another person, can control another situation. But what we do have control over is our choices. And so what will you choose? Now we are at our soul card. And I love the soul card because this really taps into what we're learning collectively, and what the universe is hoping, what our guides are hoping we will open ourselves to for this new moon cycle. Beautiful. Oh my God, I love it. Queen of Wands. Okay, so soul card, what is the collective learning and growth for this new moon cycle? Queen of Wands is a kick-ass energy. Yes, I said kick-ass energy. So we are all this month going to need to lean into that kick-ass, badass part of ourselves. Queen of Wands energy. Queens always provide a level of structure, organization, and delegation to anything that they I want to say, sort of put their stamp of approval on. And the Queen of Wands, she's very much about it's time. Let's do this. Let's not beat around the bush here. We need to get going. Let's move ahead. Let's move forward. What's really interesting about the Queen of Wands is when we look at the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, we see that she is the only queen that does not have a safety net. All of the other queens have safety nets. She doesn't. She has her beautiful black cat, her familial black cat, which is her, I want to say, her conduit, her strength, her support system, because she can rely only on herself. All of the other queens have other people around them. And it's not that the Queen of Wands doesn't have people around her. It's that she's got people around her who, I want to say, don't necessarily see the vision that she sees. So when she delegates, she has to be very clear about what exactly it is that she needs you to do, or that that you're going to be doing. Here's the thing. When we're talking about the soul card and the collective learning, I feel like we are learning to be more self-sufficient. As I said before, that Capricorn energy, we've learned it. We've learned it. We're no longer novices. We're not students of it any longer. We need to apply it. And Queen of Wands is coming through to say, this is how you do it. Take a lead, take the lead and take a page from my book. No one has been able to do anything for me other than what I've kind of instructed them to do. So all of that inspiration, all of that knowledge and wisdom has come directly from me. And then I put it out there. So I'm self-sufficient. Here's how you do it. Self-sufficiency is what we're stepping into. And for the month of January, for this, because it happens to be almost a complete month that we are in this energy, for the month of January, moving into 2025, saying goodbye to Capricorn, saying hello to Aquarius, we are really learning self-sufficiency. And it's not as hard as you think. Okay, now we're at our new moon card, and this is I Manifest, and it's happening on December 30th. December 30th, as we said, at 3:28 p.m. Eastern Standard, 7:28 p.m. UTC time. And it is happening between December 30th, and the energy is going to last until about January 2nd. So this is the energy that is bringing in this new year. And so we're very excited about. I manifest. What energies are here to support my manifesting? How can I lean into their wisdom? Four of Pentacles. So Four of Pentacles is an interesting card for us to pull. And I feel like the message here, after we got the Queen of Wands as our sort of our focus for the month, Four of Pentacles says, make sure you get all your ducks in a row. This isn't a time for greed. This isn't a time to overindulge. This isn't a time to, I want to say, overanalyze, overreact, all the overs, right? This isn't a time for that. This is more a time to understand one foot in front of the other. I've got resources that I need right now. Do I want more resources to get where I'm going? Yes. Will I get them? Yes. But now is not the time. This is not a time where it's going to happen all in this, like instantly. This is a time where you're putting in the work and the effort. So when we're manifesting and we're making the decisions on what we're manifesting, there's a level of patience and maturity that is going to be required in your manifesting. And I keep hearing the word sobering, and how ironic that we're talking about this happening over the new year. For those of you who are big partiers, this is usually a time where, we're clinking the champagne glasses. So don't overindulge this month, and instead really step into a space of understanding that this is about laying foundation that's going to be solid. You want to be clear-headed about this, but you don't want to, you don't want to stop influence. You don't want to stop the flow of creativity. You don't want to stop what our spirit guides and angels and higher guides can bring us. This is not a time for tunnel vision. So be in that foundational space, but don't be in tunnel vision. And we're going to pull an affirmation card here. See what's coming up and coming through for us. Oh, this one looks good. Oh, I love it. Freedom. All right. Follow your heart and nurture your soul with love and freedom to grow. So I feel like the Four of Pentacles is coming up and coming through to say this is what we're working towards. We're working towards your freedom. It's freedom from that Capricornian sort of more oppressive energy. And we're opening up into the Aquarius energy, beating to the tune of our own drums, connecting with others, all of the things and the stuff. Intuition, but intuition that is, I want to say, science-led, You're bringing that level of wisdom and knowledge into your space and into your flow. So follow your heart and nurture your soul with love and freedom to grow. You can have fun, just don't overindulge. Don't overdo it. Okay, now we are at our waning crescent, and the waning crescent is happening on January 3rd through the 5th. I plan. What do I need to consider when creating my plan for the cycle? Any challenges or opportunities to be aware of? And we have Three of Swords, self-care. This is also an awareness of where our wounds are and what we are healing. And because of that awareness, you are now not sitting back and being like, I don't know what to do. You're now saying, I'm aware of this and I'm taking action. I feel like this is a really important message for certain people. If you have not already, gotten a therapist, gotten a coach, connected with your support system to make some major changes in your life to bring about balance and alignment to your goals, now is the time to do it. And I don't want to say to you, if you don't do it now, you're not going to be successful or bad things are going to happen. But I am feeling like the clock is kind of like running out in order to really be able to capitalize on that Capricornian wisdom that you've earned, blended with the newness of that Pluto in Aquarius. You have to do it now in order to be able to take advantage of that blending. If you choose not to do it now, understand that your learning is going to be a little bit different. Your experience and your approach is not necessarily going to make it obvious to you the direction and the path that you're going. Now, our guides are never going to say you have to do this or you have to do that. I should not have used that word. But I want to say there's an urging for you here to step into it. You got to get it started. And if you're coming at people from your wounded space, what you're doing is you are attracting your wound and you're attracting their wound to come together. And anytime we connect with other people's wounds in an unaware way, dysfunction, disaster, abuse can occur. Pluto in Aquarius is inviting us to come together, not to separate apart. And it's not about codependency, it's about interdependency. So that's what's really coming up during this particular window of time, is it's an invitation to really get real. Get real with yourself. Get real with your wounds, where your wounds are, and how you might be showing up to the world and to others in your path with your wound, rather than showing up with your authentic heart space. Okay? And you're going to be able to create that. 3 is creation, it's collaboration. So collaborate. I feel like that needs to be part of the plan, is collaboration. Working with someone to help you through that stuff. All right, now we're at our first quarter, January 6th through the 9th. I act. What energy fuels my motivation? How can I collaborate with source energy to empower my actions? We've got 8 of Cups. So I feel like this first quarter card is really coming up, and this particular period of time is coming up because it is saying The rest of the world is moving on. You need to be on the boat. Otherwise, you're left behind. And this isn't a threat. This is more about an energetic awareness. It's not like you're going to be left behind as in you're stuck in Armageddon. It doesn't mean that you're going to be wiped off the face of the earth. What it does mean is energetically, you're missing the waves of frequency, the waves of love that are here to help guide you, to inspire you, to raise you up into that life that you are wanting to create for yourself and the life that perhaps you are envisioning for your community. The Eight of Cups is a releasing, a letting go, a walking away. And for you, it's about recognizing that, like sometimes I say this all the time, sometimes we can choose the change that's coming our way, and sometimes we have no choice around whether we can choose the change or not. It's happening, and the choice lands in how we choose to engage with it or not, right? So that's kind of what this Eight of Cups is saying is, listen, that past is the past. It's leaving. And I'm being called to, I'm seeing my grandparents, and who are, long since transitioned, rest their souls. And they were born in a completely different era. They were born with completely different issues that they needed to address and heal with. And so therefore they had just a different mentality on life, a different outlook on life. Life was different. And I recognized how much things were changing. Me as a child, how different life looked, or how I felt the energies of things were different. I could feel the energy of shift and change. My grandparents just, they couldn't connect with that. It just wasn't in their wheelhouse. And so as a result, they fell backwards a little bit. Like technology, they couldn't even work a phone half the time. Everything being on a credit card or a debit card, they didn't know what any of that stuff was. So it required a lot of assistance, from my parents and from my sister and I to help them through things. And it wasn't even so much about teaching them it. It was more about, not that they're unteachable, but in essence, they were kind of unteachable in that way. So you just kind of dove in to do it. I feel like this is the opportunity for you now to recognize you don't have to be dependent on another person or other people. Now is the time to learn, to get real with what's happening, because the past is the past. What we have known is no longer. It's just no longer. And everything that you see that is, it's almost like it's the illusion. It's going to go as well. And so you want to be prepared for that. What are you bringing in? What are you choosing on the other side of that? Okay, let's pull an affirmation. This is the one that feels right here. Courage. Live your life fearlessly with courage, strength, and determination. So yeah, it does take courage to have to learn a new skill. It does take courage to recognize that all that you've known is no longer, whether that's energetically, emotionally, physically, mentally, whatever that is. It takes courage to acknowledge it, and then it takes the courage to step forward and to say, okay, if this is no longer, then what do I want to bring in? That's where the choice is. That's where the change is. What do you want to choose to bring in? How do you want to make these shifts and changes work for you? That's the choice that we have. And that's what's coming up for us here in this first quarter energy. I'm also feeling like we're all going to be given kind of, I hear a choice point where, how do I describe this? In our own individual lives, choice point shows up where we're faced with, option A, option B, option C. And it's a choice point. And when we make the choice, we're on a different path. This isn't a dun 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 scare you kind of situation. This is more of a, hey, heads up. This is what's transpiring. This is what's coming up for you. Okay, now we are at our waning gibbous. This is January 10th through the 12th. And the waning gibbous is, looking at, oh, here we go. I choose. What energy can I lean into for confidence as I discern my commitments? we have the hanged one, the hanged man. Okay, so this is really significant. When we are talking about I choose, and we pull the hanged man is limbo. The hanged man is, I have to pause and breathe. I cannot move forward without a particular piece of information or a particular resource that is not in my control to, like, I've asked for it, now I'm just waiting on it. You know, I like to use the analogy of being at work and you get all your stuff done, but now you need, Joe from Department C to review, to add his part of it and sign off on it and send it back to you before you can go any further. So, you might want to get it done, but you now have to kind of be patient and wait for something that's coming up. So I feel like when we're talking about the I choose, and the hanged man or the hanged one is coming up and coming through to say, take your time, pause and breathe. Don't jump right away don't be impulsive with your choice. Instead, with your choice, give yourself some time to sit with it. Allow the universe to present it to you. Because the universe does have some interesting stuff that it wants to present. Maybe it's given you inspiration, but you don't really know how all of that is going to happen or play out moving forward, and you need a little bit of extra time to figure that out. So give yourself time to figure that out. The hanged man is giving you permission to not have to move forward, blast ahead. It's giving you permission to pause and breathe. Radical surrender, radical acceptance. It is what it is. I can't move forward until I have this, more information. I accept that. I surrender to the flow of energies. I surrender to what is here. It's not the white flag truce surrender. It's it is what it is. So let me pause and breathe. Let me take advantage of this time to get clear, to do a little extra research, to do some self-care. Because everything changes, and eventually this is going to become action. For now, it's not action. For now, it's take a moment to consider what's coming up and coming through. Important stuff. All right, now we're at our full moon. Already the full moon card, and this is January 13th through the 16th, and it is a Cancer moon. It is happening, and this is really interesting, guys. I can't wait to point this out. I was doing this as I was writing down the times. It is happening on Monday, January 13th, 2025 at 3:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:28 p.m. UTC. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, wait a second, weren't those the same times for the new moon? Yes, they were. They were the exact same times. So I feel that there is a synchronicity there as well, that we have 3:28 p.m. Eastern Standard for the new moon on December 30th, and we also have the full moon happening at 3:28 p.m. Eastern Standard, and then 7:28 UTC. I'm a numbers person, and that says to me, okay, we during this time, this 2-week transition, have had the opportunity to utilize what we learned from Capricorn to bring in what's new for Aquarius. And now it's time to move forward. There is no more Capricorn energy that we need to hang on to. Let's move on. And it's almost like a mirror. So I just thought that was so funny. Okay, Cancer. It being in a Cancer sign, it's the wolf moon. Cancer is, it brings up a lot of sensitivities for us. It's time to get your heart affairs in order during this particular period of time. This is about, I want to say, exploring your passions, being more, lean in more to those passions. If you aren't feeling very passionate about anything right now, it's time to evaluate why not. Step more into a passionate time and space and energy. It's also, I kept getting a lot of like swelling, open-heartedness. So there could be some actual physical swelling that you're noticing throughout this time, swelling within the body. I won't say inflammation as much as it's kind of like a heart opening, open-hearted. I think of the Grinch Who Stole Christmas, his heart grew 3 sizes that day, plus 2. It's a swelling of emotion. It's a swelling of energy. It's a swelling of the hope and excitement and anticipation of what is coming. It's a swelling of, I'm so grateful to have released this all, and I can't wait to embrace, to embark upon what's coming through, to embrace upon it. So you might be feeling some of that. And what I also received intuitively was be with supportive people as you clean out the clutter of your wounds. And how interesting, sorry, I dropped the card. How interesting that we got the 3 of Swords earlier. And I said, it's about your wounds, understanding where your wounds are. So when we're talking about being with supportive people, as you clean out the clutter of your wounds, it's almost like you have to clean out your wound. You want to think about that. I'm cleaning the wound. I'm no longer the bear with the sore paw. Here's what I mean by that. A bear with a sore paw. A bear gets into a fight. The claws come out. There's a slash on the bear's arm. And the bear, roars and then runs away because it's protecting its arm. It can't fight now with this arm being damaged. But instead of going and actually licking the wound, cleaning the wound, taking the time, what it does instead is it focuses on, oh my God, this is so painful. I'm in so much pain. I don't want anyone coming near me. And I'm going to work so hard to block you from this wound. I'm not addressing the wound. What I'm doing is I'm putting up barriers so that nobody can come near the wound, because I don't want anyone to push on the wound, press on the wound, and create more pain, because it really frickin' hurts. Sometimes we have to address the wound. We have to clean it out. We have to dress the wound, and then it can heal. But if we're constantly protecting it, it just stays wounded. It stays open. It festers. Maybe it gets infected, and then it creates worse situations, right? So we're being invited at this full moon time to address those wounds. It is no longer time to go in on the defensive, to block our heart space so that we can't get hurt anymore. It's a time to go and address those wounds very clearly, very deeply, so that we can heal. Anything that you're not putting focus to, it's going to fester and rot, and it's going to ruin your clear path ahead for this Aquarius age, the Pluto in Aquarius. And our card for the full moon is 5 of Cups. You can't make this shit up, peeps. 5 of Cups is grief, loss. It's an acknowledgement of the pain that you've experienced. It's an acknowledgement of the heartbreak and the heartache. It's an acknowledgement of that dysfunction and codependency and abuse. But here's the key with the 5 of Cups. It's important to not wallow. It's important instead to always be looking forward. And when we're looking at this card, we've got these 2 upright cups. And the light is shining from these cups. And it's shining into the old, the cups that have been overturned. It's shining up into them. It's saying, listen, let's take the gift in all of this. It doesn't all have to be bad. But if we keep focusing on what was and what is no longer, we're never going to be able to move forward into the new. 5s are about shift, change, transformation. Again, I feel like this is the theme throughout all of these cards. This is not a choice to stop this change. This change is, you're feeling it, you're in it. You're riding it. So don't go against the current. Step in now. Feel what you feel. Grieve what you're grieving. And also celebrate it, because there is so much more that you're going to be moving upwards and inwards, and I want to say beyond. Celebrate the beyond. Think of all the things that you have been running into in the last year, 2 years, 5 years, that you're just like, I'm so tired of being on this hamster wheel. That's what you can celebrate here, because that's what the gift of Pluto and Aquarius is bringing. And that's what the gift of this full moon is bringing. Release the wounds. Okay, here is our affirmation. Reflection. See all aspects of yourself through the reflection of the one who mirrors your hidden self. Wow. So we could even look at this card and say that there's a level of reflection here with the two cups reflecting into one another, right? Not the middle cup, but the two side cups. Reflection. I'm reflecting the light back to what has been. I'm taking from what has been and I am turning it into success. I'm turning it into wisdom. I'm turning it into an opportunity to move forward and move ahead. Love it. See all aspects of yourself through the reflection of the one who mirrors your hidden self. Some of you are going to be having some profound conversations with those that you're seeking out for support and assistance, therapists, coaches. This is going to be an amazing time during this full moon season to, break through any barriers, limitations, obstacles that you have had for a while, vices that you've not been able to quite nick. This is going to be the time. So this full moon, you are going to be more sensitive. Absolutely. Use that sensitivity to your advantage. Go deep. Do that vulnerable dive because it's about healing. Love it. Okay, now we are at our disseminating moon, and this is January 17th through the 20th. I acknowledge, how best can I honor my gifts and my light during this time? Where can I express gratitude from the heart? We have 9 of Swords. Okay, guys, this month really is a month to get real. Getting real with yourself. And these cards are not coming out and coming through to say, you need to be punished or you need to wallow in your stuff. No, it's saying if you want an end to the anxiety, you want an end to the nightmare that you've been in, this is what is bringing the end. This is symbolic of the end. And it's about acknowledging that you are at the end of it. It's choosing to say, and I'm done. I'm complete. I no longer need to step into this energy or this space anymore. I no longer need to tell myself this story. I no longer need to continue to show up for this job feeling abused, feeling drained, trying so hard to be seen and heard. I'm going to show up for this job for me. Or I'm choosing now to not show up for this job at all and to move on. But most importantly, I'm not going to take it personally. I'm releasing that personalization right now because that's what keeps me in suffering. That's what keeps me in the nightmare. And yeah, we do feel a lot of times like we're in the upside down world. You got the sun on the bottom and the moon on the top, and we would think actually it's the reverse, right? And of course, everything does reverse. The sun and the moon are sort of playing as our world is rotating to meet it and greet it every 12 hours or so. But we are in an upside down world. But it's up to us to make the most of it. It's up to us to decide what we want that to look like. And if you want to stay in the nightmare, by all means, you're going to be allowed to do so. But I would encourage you to move on from that, to let that go. You don't need to be there. And I feel like that's what this is saying. All right, now we are at our third quarter card, I claim. So third quarter is January 21st through to the 24th. And it's I claim. What is being completed in my life at this time? How can I connect to its release with conviction? So claiming is really important. It's very action oriented. It's like the active ingredient in something that makes it bubble up, gives it inertia. And we have the King of Swords. So this is really important. King of Swords is coming up to say, let me show you how it's done. I do the research. I do the exploration. I do the intellectual deep dive. I receive the intuition. I take in all of the advice from my advisors. And then I determine through my own body, my own knowledge, my own wisdom, my own presence of mind, what is going to be the best path. And once I've chosen that, I don't look back. I am confident in how I'm moving forward. And so I claim my choice. I take responsibility. Here is the path that I'm choosing to walk. It doesn't mean that I might walk this path for a couple of months and decide that I need to course correct, because things are not going exactly the way I thought. But I'm not beating myself up over it if I have to make that course correction. I'm simply recognizing that the decision that I made 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago was the right decision to get me here. And now that I'm here, there's an opportunity to course correct. So I feel like King of Swords right now is saying, I claim that I'm a sovereign being. I claim my future. I claim the path that I am choosing to walk. Notice how there's no past involved in that. There is nothing about the past here. There's nothing behind him. It has all faded away into dust because he is very forward focused. So claim that truth as your own. Be forward focused in that connection. Let's pull an affirmation for that. Oh, this one. Okay. Oh, cool. Creation. Being creative is a wonderful way of witnessing the unfolding of your limitless creative soul. Isn't that what we just said? King of Swords is like, listen, I'm not even connecting to my past. It doesn't even exist. It's faded into the background because it's no longer relevant to where I'm going. I'm creating the new, and I'm creating based on what is already within me. I'm creating based on my soul essence. This little light here. This is my soul essence. And my soul essence is my guide. I don't need anything else. My soul essence is my guide. Powerful stuff. Okay. Now we are, oh my goodness, already on to our Balsamic moon. This is happening January 25th through to the 28th. I surrender. What energy can I lean into to fly free into this new version of me? What can I consider as I embrace this opportunity to know myself anew? And this is huge because that's exactly what we've been talking about for this whole reading. It's all about the new. I love it. 10 of Pentacles. Surrender into the fact that you've arrived. You're here, regardless of how you judge it or you deem it as successful or unsuccessful, or you wish it was different, or you wish it looked, better than it was. You're here. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You made it. And 10 of Pentacles is a really exciting energy because it's an energy of sharing all of the fruits of your labor, and also putting stuff, taking some of the stuff that you got and putting it towards the future. What am I going to build? What's the next adventure, the next hobby, the next plan? And it's not necessarily about security related information. It's actually more about connecting you in many ways to where your heart is wanting to lead you. Pentacles is all about the health and the wealth. It's the thoughts become things environment. It's where the manifestation has transpired. And you are now holding that thought in a physical, tangible way in your life. So this is an invitation to celebrate that and to say, all right, I surrender to the truth of what is because it has brought me to exactly where I need to be. And now from this point on, what am I building? What am I creating? What new path am I choosing to walk upon? Who am I taking with me on my boat? Who's coming in the car ride with me? Who's on the plane? 10 of Pentacles. Wow. Gosh, that's so exciting. I love that. I love it. And now we are at our dark moon or void moon card. And this is not a card that is part of the scientific process. It's more of an energetic card. And it is another form of release. Oh, this is the one that's coming through. What can I release control of or walk away from, knowing it has served its purpose? How can I remain open to the new and the unknown in its process? This is happening basically on January 27th, so kind of in the middle of that balsamic moon energy. We have the Magician. And I feel like it's letting go of manipulation, feeling like you have to manipulate your life, manipulate your environment to get where it is that you need to go. And instead, it's more about how can I utilize the resources at my fingertips? How do I step more into my own alchemy? I am all that I need. I have all that I need within me. How can I be of service to my community? How can I collaborate by bringing what I have to offer? How can I bring my alchemical shifts to my fellow human? What am I going to choose to contribute to this new energy? What do I want to see moving forward? Letting go of the old vision and taking power or empowering yourself, embracing your power, not taking power, embracing your power in terms of creating the new and what you want to do. It's interesting that we just had the 10 of Pentacles, which is a 1, new beginnings based on an already established foundation. And now we have a 1, the Magician. New beginnings, fresh starts. What are you creating? That is our new moon reading for the new moon on December 30th. And Happy New Year to all of you. And I want to say welcome to that Aquarius sort of energy. Pluto in Aquarius. If you like what you see here, please like, subscribe, and click the bell on my YouTube. Share it with anyone that you feel could benefit from this type of guidance. It is year-in preview season right now. If you want a sneak peek into your personal year for 2025, consider clicking the link below to book the Your Year in Preview. I only do this from December 1st to January 31st, and then it's gone. Then it's done. So you don't want to miss out on this. It's a great card reading. It's so in-depth, and it'll just blow your mind. And if you want to go a little further, consider also booking the Year in Transformation. I say the Year in Preview is predictive, and the Year in Transformation is then prescriptive for those transformations that you're going through. Can't wait to see you guys all there. Have the most amazing new moon. Happy New Year. I can't wait to do this wild ride called life with all of you in 2025. Transform well.